So I pull up to the stoplight. I look over, I see a homeless guy. I say, oh man. I grab my wallet, get a little bit of money out. I look over again, and he's still sitting there. And it's a gang of cars around me. I'm like, yo, you gonna come get it? Or like, usually homeless people, they walk up to the car, they walk the lanes and they ask for money. But my man was chilling. He was just sitting on the curb. He was not trying to hustle. I'm like, yo, I'm not finna bring you the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna be homeless, just have a little bit of hustle. That's all I'm saying. Experts say we have about 50,000 thoughts a day. Is that an arbitrary number? Hell yes, because I could have sworn I just had 1 million yesterday. To say there is a lot on our plate would be an understatement. We have a lot to think about and a lot to stress about. Every day we wake up and we engage. We engage in our to-do list, what we have to do, work, school, and then after that, leisure time. What do we get into? Video games, Netflix, social media. You know what it is. I'd like to introduce to you Jim Kwik's 4 digital villains. Digital deluge, digital distraction, digital dementia, and digital deduction. Digital deluge, we are drowning and surrounded by information on a minutely basis. Digital distraction, we are overstimulated by the constant influx of digital pleasure that we oftentimes aren't able to really appreciate what matters most when everything's all said and done. It's like we're training ourselves to be distracted. You ever had a conversation with somebody and they got on their phone? So I'm talking to Shorty, I'm trying to put that bug in here, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, you can't be doing all that while we over their house, man. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, I definitely feel that, bro. That's crazy. Yeah, so anyways, bro. Huh? When we experience new things, our brain makes new neural patterns, and researchers have found that with downtime, these neural patterns come from short-term memory and are committed to long-term memory. It's like, for example, if our brain was a backed up sink and we kept putting water into it and it kept overflowing versus letting it sit for a while and just letting the water kind of subside. Really, that shit just needs some Drano. Last but not least, and my favorite, digital deduction. Our era has presented an interesting problem. We are losing the ability to think for ourselves. How many times have we tried to fix a problem or answer a question by typing it in Google before we even tried to answer it ourselves? And it could be like small stuff. It's just we're training our brain to not think of solutions. When events happen and we experience things, I think it's important to kind of form our own opinion before we engage on what other people are saying on Twitter or the comment section or checking the like to dislike ratio. It's important to kind of inform our own judgment before we engage in that stuff, because if we don't and we see what others are saying first, then our opinion ends up sounding a lot like the popular opinion and not what we could form on our own. We hate being told we use our phone too much because we use our phone too much. So, how do you acquire a peace of mind? You have to give your mind a piece of time.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Insert the magic word, mindfulness. Now, mindfulness can be measured, kind of like the idea of intelligence. So when I did my research, it wasn't the easiest thing, but there's a general consensus of what mindfulness is, and it deals with things like focus, awareness, memory, and attention. Now, mindfulness is an umbrella term, and there are numerous ways to go about that. For example, meditation, and even there are numerous ways to break down meditation as well. But for me, and what I want you to take away from this is just mindfulness as a whole is the idea of being intentional about your focus, where you decide to focus on your senses or be more present in the moment, or you just decide to focus on doing one task and one task only. It's just the whole idea of thinking about your thoughts. And this isn't something we should overcomplicate. For example, there's a lot of lines right now because of COVID. Maybe while you're waiting in one of those lines, you decide to not listen to music or be on your phone, and you just consciously focus on maybe your senses or what you're thinking or your place in the universe.
Well, what do you think we should do?
Think about our place in the universe?
This ain't nothing we gotta do for hours at a time. It's just the idea of taking a quick step back, like James Harden, and just focusing on what's going on in our head. Because if you don't, and you lay your head down on that pillow tonight and all those thoughts come up, now you can't get no sleep. Anyways, I hope y'all got something out of that. I'm gonna get up out y'all way.